Good afternoon, traders. Chris Buss here with Traders Profit Compass with a mid-session update for Monday, December 27th. It's 12:20 as I'm starting the video. I hope you had an awesome Christmas, and I wanted to do an update for you because I'm seeing a few things in the charts that look technically significant. So what I'm going to do is go through the indexes and the FATMAAN names, looking mostly at the daily and the 2-hour charts, and show you kind of where we're at. As I mentioned in the pre-market note, we're in a very bullish seasonal period for the market. We are in the midst of a Santa rally, and a lot of people think that it's the period heading up to Christmas, but that's really not the case. It's the week of Christmas and then carrying into the first week of January. So potentially we've got another 10 days to go, quote, in the Santa rally. But be that as it may, we go by the levels anyway. So whether it's a Santa rally or something else, it doesn't really matter. We are breaking out on a number of indexes, individual charts. So let's go over it. Here, SPY daily. You can see that for the better part of 6 weeks, we were trapped below 470, and we went as far down to test the lower side of the channel here. Actually lost the 50 for a couple days. We came down here to 450. You'll remember, and then we bounced, and then we actually came back down early last week. I think that was a Monday, to revisit that 450 level, and we put in somewhat of a double bottom. We touched that 450. We had some bullish divergence here, higher lows on PPO and higher low on RSI, so that's usually a bullish setup, and we've had a real nice end to last week and then a strong start to today. So here we're breaking out above 470. We're into blue sky territory. That's never a bad thing. All-time highs are bullish, not bearish. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of people out there that keep wanting to try to short highs, and that's really not the way to make money. It's usually a recipe to get run over. So until we see something in the charts to indicate otherwise, stay bullish here. And so if you had gotten long at any point last week, what I would be doing is ratcheting up, rolling up your strikes, rolling up your stops. So now we've got a very clean line in the chart to shoot against, and that's right here along this line of 470. All this resistance now becomes support going forward, and there's really no reason for price to go back below 470. From a technical standpoint, we tested that level 4 or 5 times. Now we've broken out, and so just from a technical basis, I'd be looking for higher prices going forward. And I wanted to point out on this 2-hour chart, this is our intermediate time frame. You can look at this past range or this past time period as a consolidation range. And so we talked about that 450 level to 470 level where price had been trapped for quite a number of weeks. So reaching back to our technical analysis rules, whenever you break out of a trading range, the measured move target is the width of that range added on to the prior highs. So just as a ballpark estimate, you would take that $20 range and add it on to 470. And so we'd be looking for something in the range of 490 as a measured move target for SPY. Now that doesn't mean, I'll gear up for it to get there, but that is the technical target. And so let's just think about the normal scenarios when we've got a situation like this. we've got a breakout. We've got a little gap from this morning. Remember that move. You could always break out and then come back for a back test and then launch, or you come back for a back test and it fail. That's another scenario. Or it just drives higher, probably comes up to another little consolidation area, and then makes its assault on 490. So keep those ideas in mind. And if, just because of the holidays, or you weren't focused on it, or for whatever reason, you're not long at this point, and for some reason there would be a back test of 470, that's always going to be an objective place to get another bite at the apple. So if you're just kind of in limbo now, or weren't really prepared to take that long this morning, keep that scenario in mind for a potential back test. Doesn't mean we get it, but I think your next opportunity would be either on a back test, coming back to this gap, or some type of little consolidation, maybe up around 478, something like that. So those are some potential strategies for you. Now let's go on to QQQ. Kind of a similar idea. We have been trapped in this $20 trading range between 400 and 380, and so we broke out this morning. Unlike SPY, we're not at all-time highs. We had a few weeks ago, we had a tag of this 405 area, really went up a little higher and then came back. So there is some overhead resistance at 405, but just from what I wanted to say and make the point, we're breaking out of a $20 trading range. And so using those rules, our measured move target would be 420. We're breaking out of a $20 range. We're breaking out of 400. So our target is 420. I think here, if you didn't get long at 400, I think your next chance is really at 405. Make sure that the Qs can power out to an all-time high. There I would be a buyer. And then you can set your stop just below 405. And that way you would have a very objective entry. And the one thing I wanted to show you on the indicators is the posture of the PPO momentum and the RSI. You can see on the RSI had been moving lower, made a couple dips below 50, but nothing dramatic. But now we've broken out above downtrend resistance, and whenever you break a trend line to the upside, that's going to be bullish. And also down here, remember, some of the things we look for a bullish setup is a bullish PPO cross at the 0 line on PPO, and that's what we're getting right here. So during this consolidation, you can see that momentum came out, which is what you'd expect during a consolidation, but now it's gathering itself at the 0 line. And usually what you see when that happens, when you got RSI breaking out, you've got a PPO bull cross, and you've got price breaking out. So really you've got a triple signal, if you will, that these indicators are confirming the breakout in price. And here I've just got the 2-hour chart, where you can see it's pretty much been off of this double bottom low, a move, mostly unidirectional. We've only had a few little red bars in there since the rally has started. So I would be looking for a place, an objective place to get long. IWM, not doing a whole lot, wrestling with the 50-day moving average. We had a run at the bottom of the box. I've got a little reminder here. Support is support until it isn't. buy support, sell resistance. So we had the bull trap up here. We came down, made a run at 210, didn't quite make it, had a little rally, came back, tagged 210. If you got long there, I would probably roll up my strikes into this 220, 222 type area and see if you can get a push towards this gap. Because now, just on a technical basis, we're playing ping pong between this 232 level and this 210 level. So you can see back here, bottom of the box, top of the box, bottom of the box, top of the box. And now we've gone from the top to the bottom. And so base case, I would anticipate that at a certain point, this gap will fill and make a run towards the top of the box again. So still, that leaves $10 of meat on the bone for you to possibly capture. And the way I would do that would be right here at the 50. And then, as price, it looks like it's emerging above the 50 right now. So you could always use a moving average, and the 50 is as good as any to shoot against. And then you can set your stop just below, maybe just below 222, something like that. And so you'll have, you'll give it $1.50 to the downside, but then you've got $10 of potential upside in that trade. And I would certainly think above the 50, you're going to make it to the bottom of the bottom of the open gap for sure. And then you would have another decision point there, whether it gets rejected like it did back here or break out. Facebook, nice morning, up 3%. Had the gap up. I've got it here. We've broken above this 344.50 area. So I think that is your, just use 344 as your pivot point. If you had gotten long anywhere back in here, I would be rolling up your strikes and your stops against this 344 area and then look for 354. So I think there's still a lot of upside in Facebook as long as it can hold this little breakout here at 344. And you can see we've broken out of this big value range here between 340 and let's call it 327 area. So, and you can see the volume over price bars really drop off. So I think there's most of the tough resistance is in the rear view mirror. So I think if the bulls have any kind of power at all, I think they're going to be able to get it back up here, at least for a touch of the prior high around 354. Apple coming up here to this 179 area. I think that you see this prior high and this little fake breakout here. So that's going to be an important level, 179, 179.25, something like that if you're on lower time frames. So above that, I think you can make a run to 181. And then if the rally has legs, you can break out above 181, and then you're going to be in blue sky territory. And then for sure, if you had gotten long anywhere along the way, I would be ratcheting all your strikes and your stops up to the all-time high at 181, and then just stay long against that. Tesla, really strong chart. Back here, Elon told us he had stopped selling. I think he sold about 15 billion worth. And that has really been a catalyst for the stock to move higher. Now we're coming up to this level 1120. And if you've been following along in Tesla, that is a level that has come up quite a number of times over the last couple of months as an important level. So now I think that's going to be your next overhead resistance sticking point. And if price were to punch through that, I would be, again, scraping whatever profits that you had if you had gotten long anywhere along the way, and then do a reset right there at 1120, and then look for a push towards 1150, 1160, and then possibly even back towards 1200 where there's an open gap. Microsoft Daily, we had an open gap from that bad day that we had a few weeks ago, and so this morning we broke through that, and so I think the target is going to be 345. I had been long that stock. I rolled up my strikes this morning to 342.50. If we were to break out at a certain point in time this week above 345, I would be rolling all my strikes up to 345 or higher and buying more time, looking out to the first week in January if we were to punch out to all-time highs above 345. And again, we've got a nice bull cross emerging here on PPO after this consolidation period. That looks positive, and we're above 50 on RSI, and I don't have the line drawn in here, but if I were to draw one in, you can see that the RSI is breaking out. So Microsoft looks really, really good. I'm looking for a move at least to 345 for a tag. Amazon, not really doing much today. Came back in for a little back test of this 33.80 area. If you wanted to try along there, you certainly could with a stop just below, and then look for a move back up towards 34.40. I think that's really your pivot, though, to go higher. But 33.80 to 34.40 ain't all bad either. So it doesn't seem like a lot is going on in Amazon today, at any rate. Same thing with Google, just kind of flagging here after this strong run. I mean, it continues to be a strong stock. It just hasn't broken out yet. We explored the low end of the range down here, 27.90, and now we're all the way back up to 29.60, building out a flag. If everything stays strong, I would expect that to break out at 29.60 and then make a run towards the prior highs up in the low 3,000 range. Netflix, not a lot going on here. Got a nice bounce off the floor here on this divergent low. Came up here, building out a little flag. I would have, if you're interested in trading it, I would have this 617.50 alarmed in your platform. And if you get a breakout there, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't come up to 630. And as we discussed last week, there's a relative void in the volume over price profile. So I think it could very well see a fast move up into this 645 range where it would start getting a little bit tougher. Semiconductors, really, really strong. We had multiple rejections here at 312.50 where we got rejected. We went down to the bottom of the box. We came up to the top of the box, back down to the bottom, and now we were at the bottom last week, and now we're breaking out of the top. So that's significant. $22 trading range on this breakout projects up to 335. If you add 22 onto 312, you basically got 335. So that would be my target. And so whether you got long here or took it this morning or are just looking at it now, I think you can be long against 312.50 with a stop just below, and then look for a move at least up to 335 at the measured move target. You can see here we've got a breakout on RSI, and like a lot of the other charts that we've spoken about this morning, We've got a PPO bull cross happening down towards the 0 line. So that looks really, really strong. So just a quick update here, midday. Let's see if we can keep this rally going. If you're, in holiday mode, that's fine. The market's going to still be there whenever you get back. Just whatever you're trading, just make sure you stay on top of that. Whether if you're in holiday mode, don't try to actively trade too much. Just back off to the daily time frame where you can check it 2-3 times a day, morning, noon, and then right before the close to see if anything changes. And so if you're normally a very active trader and you're backing off a little bit this week, that's fine. You can go out to the daily time frame and just say, like on SMH, on the semis, you can say, I'm just going to go off the daily chart, not worry about all the intraday wiggles, and just stay long against, 312, or if you're in any of the other names or on names we haven't discussed here, you can just set your alarms on the daily time frame, and then you'll have kind of a lower intensity environment for this week heading into the new year. And then when you're fully engaged again, you can go back to lower time frames if that's your thing. So I hope the update helped. I will keep you posted on whatever I'm seeing. So really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the alarm bell. Thumbs up is always nice. I really appreciate that. And if you want to jump over in the show notes, there's a place where you can register for all my content, and then you'll have updates such as this come right to your email box. You won't have to hunt around for it. So have a good day of trading, and I'll talk to you on the next video. This has been Chris Buss with Trader's Profit Compass. Talk to you next time.